Okay, we are live now. Let's wait for people to join us. Hey, everybody. Okay, where are my audience? Where is my audience? Where is my audience? Hey, Abhinav, welcome. Hey, Srijan, welcome. Welcome to Shiv Krish, Parveshani, Captain's Group. Hey guys, welcome to this week's edition of In the Spotlight. My name is Rohit. How you guys doing? Well, for those who have joined us for the first time, welcome to In the Spotlight, which is basically a live Instagram session that we do talking to one of the successful owners. And for those who've joined us, I mean, where we basically talk about a certain topic that is very relevant to our business. For those who've joined us and keep joining us on a week-on-week basis, welcome back. It's good to see you guys. And great. So we have a great session lined up today. We have Krishna Chaitanya, of business owner of Progressive Group, today with us as the guest speaker, and we'll be discussing things about making the best of social media. What is the best way to utilize social media in this current situation at all levels. So let's see if our guest is here, and then we can look at. Hi Sharayu, welcome. Thank you, good evening. So let's see if our guest is here. Alright, there he is. So let's bring in our guest. Uh, where is, oh yeah, there he is. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Krishna Chaitanya. Oh, there he is. Hey Krishna.
Hi Rohit, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
You look so different from your picture all over again, man.
I don't fear change like others
I
do.
prefer that look better, actually.
Yeah, I just got a shave and then I'm
Yeah,
back.
perfect. So how you been? How is things? How is business and everything else?
Everything is going great. What I would like, thanks to all, my mentors in the past over the last 3 years, the way they trained me, I think that has played a major role in be adapting to different situations right now. Because if you see, people are going chaotic, with the whole crisis situation out there. And I think you will be the best person, because being in Mumbai, I'm sure you experience it a lot than us in Hyderabad.
Yeah,
But I think yeah, we're doing pretty much well. We're back on track with our business. Our revenues are going up. We are seeing an uptrend. We have been adapting to a new business model, and what we have to say is it's all positive.
perfect. That's so great to you. All right, so let's begin our session. For everybody that who's joined in,
Yeah.
uh, we have Krishna Chaitanya, business owner, Progressive Group, who's going to be a key speaker today, and he's going to be talking about making the best of social media in this current times and at all levels, actually. So, Krishna, why don't you take it ahead?
Great, thank you, Rohit, and hi to all the audience out there. Hope you guys will learn something out of this IGTV live that we are doing, because this is all our only intention is to, spread a lot of positivity and, make people understand, how to cope up with the challenges out there in the real world today. So, firstly, before me starting the topic, of making the best use of social media, I would like to talk a little about, how people fear change. And this happens with everyone, and it's not that I'm like a superman, who's okay to change. Even I fear change certain times. First, let's 5 minutes, let's discuss on this topic first. So first of all, the first question is, why people fear change. We got to understand one thing is, that change is the nature of life, and now we have to understand and accept it. That's the first thing, whenever we see different circumstances, as an individual, not as a business owner, not as an employee, or as a human being, but I think as a person, as a human, we have to understand and accept change. And people fear change is because most of the times we doubt the results. That's one major reason why people change, is because I've been following this for age old theory, and today altogether, if I'm starting a new thing, and this is what I could give a classic example, when I've seen a lot of banks, when they have changed from paper to computers, a lot of managers voluntarily retired themselves. The reason of, they're okay to lose the money, great money that they're making, but they fear change. They don't want to learn computers, and a lot of them voluntarily retired. I know a lot of my contacts, friends and families who have done that. And you know what? They're okay with that. But who is the one losing? Is them. No one, and it gave an opportunity to a lot of young folk out there, the managers that you see today on the banks, they're very tech savvy. And it made lives easier. And the next one is, understand one thing. Fear is a human thing. And it happens to everyone. Everyone goes through, this thing. So, first thing, these are the three major points, I would like to talk about. If you see in my personal case, my dad and my parents, thought that I would be a civil engineer. They put me in a great college. They might have also, it's not easy to pay big fees. So they had their own challenges. And, once it is done, I got a job in TCS. And then, I had to change, from civil engineering to an IT, which I've never exposed to. Right. And then, I had to undergo my training, and it's not easy, to be frank, because I'm not one of those toppers in the college. And, all my, friends and folks who are on this call right now, would agree to that when I say this, right? Because I like being honest. And, it was difficult for me, because the fear of me losing an opportunity to work with TCS is what got me, into learning it. And then eventually, once I was doing well, personally, I didn't like the IT sector. It's maybe because it's not my thing. And then, I had again, take up a big step of, getting into the sales industry, right? Without absolutely no experience, because I'm not a management guy. I'm not an MBA, but I'm really very proud. Like I was talking about, my mentors, I can name a few of them, like Antriksh Bajaj, who's all constantly been training me, Mr. Sagar Punwani, a lot of other people, like Mr. Sai Prakash, and Tony Fernandez, all these people, have taught me a lot, which helped me, to be a market leader today. And if you see from that, right now I've been like, okay, now people in my family, everyone in the back end, the friends who care about you, everyone, always were panicking. Krishna, why do you take such decisions? Why do you, you've studied for 4 years and then you got into IT, you worked there for 3 years, built a base. Now, why do you want to get out of that? And then, now you are into sales. Now, now the world has given me a challenge. Now I can't do sales, because I'm into face-to-face marketing. And now, as on today, I can't step out of, of my office. And now I have to adapt to a new thing called telesales or social media sales, digital marketing. And that's what we are adapted to. And, like I said, we are pretty much, back on track. And so that's how, everyone faces these challenges. And I'm sure, Rohit, for you also sitting in the house and doing these calls, which you can actually, be in a much comfortable situation in a big office in Mumbai, right? Right now, everyone is facing a challenge. I see, I follow a lot of vlogs. I follow a lot of content. I love automobiles. So, I watch Autocar India, everything. Those folks are also doing those, reviews from the house. They're in the cellar and, they get a new car, they do the reviews and, exactly. I love it.
It's basically making the best of what we have right now. You
Absolutely.
Can't play, because there's always going to be something or the other that keeps happening. And like True. They always say, change is the only inevitability, right? That's while everything else might remain the same. I mean, change is always there. So that's never going to change.
Absolutely. And I would like to talk about,
I think that's where the topic comes in, where the fear of adapting, and now that we've adapted, how do we make the best of it? Like you correctly said, that now we've all adapted to the digital front of things, the digital world, and working digitally, being forced. In fact, even I was writing an article today about, how the telesales business has impacted our business, the face-to-face marketing business. And I did talk to a couple of owners and I asked them, okay, what has been the biggest issue? And especially, and the thing is that, that all this time you guys always talked about face-to-face marketing and the human commercial, correct? that's what you guys have been talking about, and reading the customer or the donor, reading the personality, having that smile on your face and the body language, etc., etc. And now there's just a wall that's coming, and you're going
Absolutely.
to do the same thing without that.
Yes. So quickly, I would also, since we spoke about change as a starting as a start for the topic, I would also like to give certain examples where people can relate to with certain failures that we have seen in the past. Like, the best example is Nokia. Because they've not adapted in the UI, they've been on Symbian for so long, they've been reluctant to, get into smartphones. Even when in 2007 there was an iPhone launched and there was a huge hit, and they were still going with those QWERTY keypads, looking at other big firms like BlackBerry, etc. And now they're nowhere. And let's go to another industry. If you see Kodak, which is into cameras, one of the
Correct.
biggest firm back in days didn't go to digital. They were still in the age old, the reel system which they're following, and they didn't want to start the digital cameras. And they've been replaced by Canon, Epson. We have a lot of Sony, different other products.
Nikon.
And
Yeah.
coming to Nikon, etc. And coming to the IT industry, if you see computers, IBM is one of the biggest firms back in days for business computers. And then they didn't understand what is personal computing and the use of personal computing and the ease of personal computing, and they were only concentrating on the business computers. And then HP, all companies like Lenovo, Apple, just boomed into the personal computer market, and they made great success. So people who don't want to change, certain times also, there's a high chances of failure. So it's like, it's better you try and fail rather than you're not trying and failing anyways.
And
Right.
not being sure whether
So,
this would have worked or not worked.
sorry?
And not be sure whether this could have worked or not worked. Have that regret. Maybe if I tried.
Absolutely, that's correct. And quickly, like if you see some of the reasons why people do that is because, they might be satisfied with the current position or situation. That's one major reason, being being self-satisfied or being in the comfort zone. Second thing is, being having a fear of unknown things. They're like, I don't know this, I don't want to get into this. Like best topic of ours is social media. Everyone thinks of the same thing. I don't know social media. I'm not a social media guy. I'm not someone who wants to, go out and post different content. That's how people
Correct.
feel.
But I think that's also because a lot of people have always seen social media as a personal, a personal thing. Like it's always started that way as a personal thing. Till the first business said, how can I use this platform? Whether it was
Absolutely.
Facebook, whether it was Orkut, whether it was, now Instagram. So, it's always been, how do, from going from a personal to how do I make it to a professional thing?
This again takes me back, to the back to the change as a topic. If you see, all these platforms, Facebook has started as a personal social media platform, but they've adapted. They've started marketplaces. Instagram has started as a, photo sharing app, but now they have IGTV Live, where, a lot of viewers are viewing this, it could help a lot of young people, out there. So everyone, even these media channels, all the platforms have been adapting, over the ages. And other things like if you see normal routine being disrupted by adapting to a new change, that's one major fear. Not my idea, this is someone else's idea and it's working out. If you see, I used to follow Gary Vaynerchuk for a long time, and he keeps talking about content, keep posting, understand, etc. And then still people don't want to do it. Yeah, because they are like, this is not my idea, this is work for him, it's not mine. And then and for some people the purpose is unclear. And that's one major reason, for some people, they are like confused with what is my return on investment, right? If I'm putting some money, what is going to be my return on investment? And, the major thing is additional commitment that people don't want to get into, and the last one is traditional habits and, what they have done in the past, like the age old things. So these are the major, I think, barriers what people, always start thinking about. And I'm sure, a lot of our viewers right now will also be having, yes, even I have been taught exactly the same thing. And that's wrong. So this is what I want to talk about change quickly. And, right now, let's jump into the topic of, why social media. Now, a lot of people, are like, why should I get into social media? Is, because you can connect to the customers directly. At your comfort, like how today we can do this call, where you're sitting in Mumbai and me sitting in Hyderabad. I need not spend a lot of money, to go to Mumbai, meet my customer, explain him and, expect him to be my potential customer. right? So, that's why, it's easier right now. And the next thing is more volumes. So if I am going to go out and, on a one-on-one basis, talking to one person every hour, let us say every hour I put an appointment and I could talk to one person. But if I am going to do an IGTV live or post a story online, thousands and lakhs of people, are going to watch that. Because as on today, we have more than 3 billion people on social media, and the number is just going higher. And I think it's high time that, people out there and entrepreneurs out there and, people who want to kickstart their businesses understand. And that's the major reason, why in the lockdown also a lot of video influencers are making the money is just by using social media. If you see, everyone else stopped making money, and all the guys, on YouTube, all, like I said, the example of Autocar, they didn't stop their weekly updates. They keep giving weekly updates even now, by doing it in a different way. So the next one is cost effective. This is something which I love, because I need not spend a lot of money. And let me tell you, most of them think that it's too expensive. What is my return on investment? But let me tell you, a lot of platforms are absolutely free. You need not spend any. Like the call that we're doing today is free. We're not charged, right? So why not try it, right? And the next one is increased awareness of your brand. So a lot of questions keep popping in, your customers' minds, which you can easily, like I said, by putting up different stories, by whenever people comment, you can reply back on these comments and you can give them more trust. And that also routes a lot more traffic, towards your way. And that's how it happens. And, you have to just take an initial step. Like I said, there are so many people on social media every single day who are starting, Right now, if you say, I'm sure a lot of people on this call right now, also their parents, the grandparents are also on social media. I used to get scared back in my college, because I used to block all my parents because they get to know everything that I do. But that's the same thing. Now, everything about your business is going to be out there. And everyone, wherever they are in the world, they know about what kind of product you are with, and you might have answered a lot of questions of customers. You can put a lot of fancy videos that you do and edit of your product, right? A lot of scope, if you start thinking, if you start digging into it, there's a lot more to it, because, we won't be, the time right now won't be sufficient for us to talk about all of that. And now the major question is, now I understood, why social media is important, but a lot of people are like, how do I do it?
Correct. So
where do I start it?
It's how do and what do I do actually. So what do I do and how do I do it? And I think it goes at each level, so I can understand, like, for owners, it could be from a recruitment point of view,
right,
and from a product point of view. But what about the other levels? How do a person who is an associate, who's a crew leader, or who is an assistant owner, how do they use this platform to help them in the future or their product?
Absolutely. Like I'll give you my personal example, before me starting my business itself, I've created an Instagram page. I have, had been doing outlines of my logo, how, my logo has to look like. Today it is live, from a year before. But, this plan started 3 years back. And I had ideas, plans, and, my sister helped me actually, in creating that logo for me. And, there are a lot of sessions that we had to sit together and, edit it, enhance it. And then, the bio, what bio should I keep? What tagline should I, my company should be having? What makes more sense? This, I think, had taken a lot of time for me. And then, the best thing I feel, my business has got a lot more exposure is because, I didn't start my business and then start my social media page. I started my social media page a year in advance before me starting the business so that I keep things ready for me on the plate. So when I started, my business, everything was boom, boom, boom. I got a lot of recruitment. A lot of people know what this company is all about. A lot of people, know who is running this firm. And the major reason is, most of the times, we work with youngsters and a lot of parents, are skeptical when it comes to startups or a new business. When I say Tata, parents, are so happy. But when I say a new firm's name, parents are very skeptical. And so that, I created a lot of content, where parents can go out into my Instagram handles, my Facebook handles, maybe our YouTube channels. And then, they understand what kind of a person is running a business and is my kids, future secure with them. and who's the team. I have a lot of testimonials on my Instagram page. We have a website. And when I was creating a website, also a lot of people were asking me, my friends and family, I've been running my business for 20, 25 years. My father is running this business. And we even till date, we don't have a website. And what is the use of it? Just waste of money, yearly maintenance, a lot of money goes in development. You got to spend so much of money and, you have to constantly, make changes to it. So how are you going to cope up with all this? I said, I don't understand all of that. I believe that social media is the next big thing. Because, I'm a 90s kid, a 90s kid can actually see the whole transformation that happened, from where we didn't even have a mobile phone, right? And then, right now, we have everything handy. Everything is, right now, charging is also wireless.
Yeah.
Right. We have adapted so much. Like I still, when I start going back into days and, like how we used to watch, someone has got a color TV and, so many people used to sit there and watch it. Someone has a DVD player or something and, 10 kids used to watch it and watch that. And now at comfort of a mobile phone, we can just view everything that we wanted. So, everything has been adapting. So coming down to the how do we kickstart is first of all, it's very, very essential that you have a plan. And without a plan, you're not going anywhere. So first thing is in the planning, you have to set some goals. What is my end goal? What do I want to achieve by, getting onto the social media platforms? Do I want to sell? Do I want to make my customers understand about my product? Right? Or initially I'm only looking at, what customers are looking out for. So, you need to have a preset plan. Then, research your competition. Because in every other thing, we have some competitors and then see what they are doing. And see what is working out for them. That's an easy way, to start with. If for them, LinkedIn is working, go with LinkedIn. If for them, FB is working, go with FB. Because FB, I see a lot of, older crowd in FB because all the youngsters right now are into Instagram and Snapchat. So what demographic are you trying to, focus on is more important for us, right? And the next thing is, decide relevant platforms. Like I said, like whether you're going to target a B2B business, then what do we go to? We go to LinkedIn, right? And if you are going to B2C directly to a customer, then go with Instagram and Snapchat. And that's the easiest way for you to, tap your customer directly. And next thing, the third major important thing in social media is content. What kind of content I'm going to give to my audience, right? It's very, very essential. And I can suggest, to watch a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk's video because I have learned a lot from, his videos. Because understand, guys, it's okay to copy. And, I've been copying a lot of people, for the last 3-4 years. And it's okay. Let me tell you, because even they have learned it from someone else. And if it is giving you success, why not? Let people say that, you might copy that guy, this guy, but that's how people make money. Like if you see, the best example is Chinese products. They copy everything, right? And still people buy because they go with volume. They're like, I don't care what are the reviews, and still date, a lot of things that we have, we use, are Chinese products. And what are they good at? They're good at copying things and, manufacturing it with a different label. Like you see, they have a Chinese KFC brand, they have a Chinese Nike brand, they have a Chinese Rolls Royce, they have a Chinese everything. They have a Chinese iPhone, they have a Chinese MacBook, right? It's okay until and unless they're making the money and, the business is being sustained, they could give opportunity to a lot more people, right? And the next thing is analytics. Very, very important. Like, how before we starting a business, we look at, am I going to be breaking even? How much time is it going to take for my business to break even? We do all these calculations. So similar way, when you get into the social media platforms as well, analytics play a big, big role. And I know, with this right now with Instagram, with YouTube, it's easy. It's on your fingertips. Analytics, everything is preloaded in the software. Like after this call, I can exactly know how many people watched it, how many people liked it, how many people commented it, what are their inputs, everything I get to know. So it's made your lives very, very easy. And, the last point I would like to talk about how do you do this is, make time for social media. So you got to take some time out every single day. That just 1 hour of my day is going to be for my content and my social media. I'm going to sit there and, reply to all the comments. And this thing I've learned, from Mr. Sagar Punwani, because he keeps, always going to his website, his Google reviews and, keep constantly, replying back, to people who are giving positive or else negative feedback. And most of us are scared to reply back on the negative feedback. And it's okay, guys. Big companies like Google, Facebook has negative reviews. Companies like Apple has negative reviews. Banks like HDFC has negative reviews. It's okay, someone somewhere is going to have a bad experience, and now we can't help it. And the best thing that we could do is, respond back to them and, understand what went wrong and, maybe make things better. And people seeing that, they're going to go bonkers. They're going to, comment more, it's going to attract a lot more traffic to you towards your way. So that's what I've learned from him. So, and other things like, listen to your customer, whatever the customer is saying, what insights the customer giving, what do they prefer, Certain times we post a picture and then they're like, no, I would like to see the video of it. I would like to see the usage of this product. I would like to see how can we use it, how many, different ways can I use it, etc. And the last one is pick the right tools. Like we were talking about whether should I go with Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat. There are podcasts, there are vlogs, blogs. There are a lot more ways like WhatsApp, business, right? So you got to just figure out, what works for you better and what is working for your competitors better. I feel, this is what generally you guys have to understand. And now if you want me to talk about my business and, mainly, focusing it on the sales business, I personally have different usages for the social media. And let me tell you, even I'm not, like I said, even I'm not very, very smart, or even I feel, certain times, that I have also should have started it a little, before than what I thought. Everyone right now today is forced to get into social media with this whole crisis situation. Everyone is, forced to get onto the Zoom calls. Everyone is forced, to get onto YouTube. Everyone is forced, to get onto the digital media platforms, and digital marketing is the new cool thing now, right? So if I look at my business, I can see, social media helping me with my sales. Number one, like how do I do my sales? I can post short videos of my products and services, right? Like how there are advertisements on the TV, which costs me a lot, but it is free out here. Only thing, I have to base my, follower base. And then I can post a lot of short videos. In IGTV, you see, because, attention span of people is very, very limited. That's why, trailers have the trend of trailers has come for movies is because, people don't want to see, a big trailer for 10 minutes, which we used to be back in days, the trailer of the movie used to be 10, 15 minutes. But nowadays, there is a teaser which comes only for 30 seconds. And then there's a digital picture which comes in, maybe for 10 seconds. And there's a trailer which comes out for 1.5, 2 minutes. And what happens, they show the major content, what they want, what audience can expect out of that particular movie. And then, people who are interested can just go there. Like the same thing happens on IGTV. If you see Instagram as well, a lot of people, just, they're to the point. And then the next thing is, if you like it, swipe up. Right. And it makes life easier. Then you go to the full video and then you can spend some time if you're interested. Because, if you're going to put the whole story, no one is going to watch it. Right. So that's one thing you have to understand. Second thing is I can answer all the frequently asked questions from my customers so that I can boost my sales. Because, most of the times, customers don't buy is because they had a query and question and no one is answering that to them. Right. They're not clearing that question in their mind, that, they need some answers and there's no one who's answering. So FAQs, frequently asked questions from your customers is something which is very, very important to look at sales. Third thing is the best thing that I love, with using social media in sales is the volume of sales. Like I said, I might have limited time. I can do, talk to limited people, but on social media right now, n number of people can join, and a lot of people, can watch it. We can share it. It's like a wildfire. Like we see all these, videos which instantly become a hit. Viral. And I think without social media, that wouldn't happen. If you're going and doing it through mails, I'm sure a lot of our audience are not going to watch it. Right. And the
So I want to ask
second,
you a question.
yeah,
Sorry. No. So I want to
yeah,
ask you a
please go
question
ahead.
now when you talked about using, creating content and, posting, creating content. What kind of like I asked you, what kind of content can each level use? So if I'm an associate, what kind of content can
Uh-huh.
I put up to basically reach out to an audience to show them what what the product that I'm selling, or what the benefits of it are, and how it's helping people. So what kind of content should I put up over there, especially for somebody like or somebody like a crew leader who's looking to build a team? How can he use it to get people into his company to join his team, etc.
Right. If you see, if you see even my my page of my company, if you see from the start, from the starting pose that I've been putting, the way I look was different, my attire was different, the way I was talking was different. And what happens is eventually when you keep posting a lot of content, people see that change that is happening within you. Like initially, before me partnering, before me getting into sales, I never wore a suit. Down south, suit is only for marriages, and that too only, the guy who's getting married will wear. And then, that's how it is. And right now, people have seen a little change, and then, it helped me in a lot of personal recruitment, right? Because when I speak, when I do a small video or when I post when I do a small posting there, it goes to a lot of my friends, families, and, they get like this really helped me in my parents, not being negative about what I'm doing. Because definitely, every parent will be negative is because, I kept jumping from different things. And now what parents' mentality is, parents are scared because, is this guy knowing what is he doing? Or this is how he is. What if tomorrow, again, he comes back after 4 or 5 years and say, I don't want to do sales now, sort me out. And that's the major problem of, every parent out there of youngster, right? So what helped me is, major thing is, my parents got more confidence. My family and friends got more confidence is, because they could see me directly, not just, me bragging about something, but, they could see that change eventually coming in me. And the same thing, a lot of my friends and family, and, you don't believe, but, a lot of my friends from Tata still keep messaging me, saying that, are there opportunities in your company? What do you do? I want to know this, because I've seen a 360-degree change in you, right? From a young boy, to someone who's running a successful business. And, even today, and majorly, these calls have been receiving in the lockdown situation because everyone is shut. A lot of my friends have lost their jobs. And a lot of them, are getting half salaries, and a lot of them are uncertain, whether their businesses are going to restart or not. And in all this chaotic situation, people keep calling me and asking me, that, about I've seen a lot of change, from the last 2 years, because the only medium that they could see me, because I'm hustling day in, day out, and then I'm not going to meet them. So where did they see me is on my social media platform. Where I could gel with all my friends and family is only on the social media. Believe me or not, for the last 4 years, I might have, I could count on my fingertips, for what all family occasions that I might have attended, personal trips that I've gone to, personal me time that I must have had, not even 1 hour of me time for personally myself every single day. I've been hustling, 7 days a week, 24/7, 365 days. And now, how do I showcase all this? Is, by my content on my social media. So I think, there is nothing right or wrong if you're starting right now. It's okay to make mistakes. People are going to understand. If you go to my page also, initially, it was a lot of, difference between posts and content that I'm doing, and it was not syncing with stuff. And then, I had to also learn myself, how social media, because I had to give myself some social media time. And then I had to sit with my people, my family, my friends who are helping me out with my social media, because I got to learn things from different other people when I don't know. And, that's how eventually, the page could get more quality. And, I could attract more followers, because I used to laugh at myself. My personal Instagram page used to have a lot of followers, and, my business page never had great followers. And then I'm like, why people don't want to follow my business? It's because, my content is not good. I'm not doing the right thing. What I post today and what I post tomorrow is not in sync. Right? So when I understood all of this, eventually I could see success. So, and the next point that I want to talk to people about is, coming to my business, how this social media is impacting is big thing is recruitment. Right? A lot of people, have approached me looking at the posts, looking at the videos that we post, and the best thing is, the reposts. So I do post, and then, there are a lot of my associates, partners, or my friends, family who repost it, which goes to a lot of other people. Right? And that is very important. So, one major thing I love is it's cost effective. Right? If people are looking out who are kickstarting their new businesses, you need not buy those expensive job portals. Like I do, I work with job portals, and then, like Naukri costs you around 1,50,000 to 60,000, and, Shine costs you 80,000-90,000 bucks. And, there are a lot of other things, Indeed, etc. And I'm sure you know pretty much better than me, right? And, if you're looking at the budgets and like, if you're going here where, I don't want to spend that much money, go for social media, because it's going to pull out a lot of recruitment for you. There are a lot of free recruitment portals right now, like Wisdom Jobs, a lot of things, which are free. Indeed also, for a limited time, it's free for you to use.
So
Right,
actually,
LinkedIn is free.
yeah. So actually, that brings me to a point, and I keep saying this, at various occasions when I talk to people about making the best of social media, is like you rightly said, we were the '90s kids, right? So before the
Yeah,
whole social media boom happened, and if we had to prepare for a company, we would ideally just go to the website and see, okay, what does the company do? But
yeah,
now that the generation has changed, the millennials has changed, the thought process, the thinking has changed. What is more important than the money and and the best job satisfaction is important, but also the environment that they get to work in. So I keep saying that this is one of the best ways you can make use of social media is showcasing your office culture, because that is what the youngsters want today. What's the kind? Because nobody, they don't want to work in in an office that is typical of like a government organization. They want something that gives them
absolutely.
the liberty, the freedom of creativity, of having that environment where it feels like they are welcome, they're wanted. So, and I keep saying that it's always good to showcase your office culture, showcase what you do, because that is how because that is what anybody, you call somebody for recruit, you call somebody for an interview, or you ask somebody to send for an opportunity. The first thing they're going to do is not even go on your website. They're going to see your social presence, as your social media presence, because that's where they get the whole real picture of your organization from.
Right.
Correct?
So, what you spoke, completely made sense, because that's how it generally works, because, people, like you see, a lot of people used to tell me, like the first thing, whenever they see my recruitment mail or, a recruitment post on the online platforms of the job portals or maybe, Facebook, Instagram, whatsoever it is, the first and easiest thing, for everyone is to just go on Google, type the company's name. And the moment the company's name you type, there's a lot of Google reviews which come in. And now, I can't help with Google reviews, because someone is posting a negative review. I can't change it. Right? It's okay. It's out there, and then, there are some positive reviews. The next thing, that a youngster is going to do is, they go to the Instagram or Facebook handle. They start viewing videos, a lot of pictures. And that's why if you see specifically in my portal, we have this, you have tags, where you can save memories, and I have a lot of work culture stuff. I have a lot of webinars that we do. We have a lot of recreational activities, rest and relaxation activities that we generally go. I'm sure we go a lot of times to Goa. Take our
Yeah.
associates, travel to Mumbai, Bangalore, different other cities. And seeing all that, a lot of youngsters keep messaging. Even today, I've received a lot of messages saying that, sir, I want to work with you, because I really like the culture, and this is the kind of company I'm looking out for. I don't want to be on the stereotype job, where I'm working for 9 to 5 on a desk. I hate it. And I'm going through your testimonials, reviews, and pictures, and all the work culture stuff. And this is the kind of company. But to be frank, back in days when I joined in the sales industry, it was not really there. A lot of companies, couldn't showcase themselves on the social media platforms, which is easy. So everyone was skeptical till the time they went into the office. They look at, because the major reason, which helped me is because, the company which I joined in the past also was very, very active on the social media platform. And that gave me a confidence to quit a company like TCS, which is giving me a fixed salary job, and get into sales and the commissions. Because it's a big risk that I could take, after 3 years of my work.
Correct. So that's what I said. Okay, the youngsters today, their whole mindset has changed. Like they want to know, because that is where they're going to know about the companies on social media, and that is what matters to them. In this day and age, people don't look at website. That is the only way a person can get to know about the company that they want to work in. That's where they want to work in. Or where they have that thing. Okay, this looks like a fun place to work. This is going to be a fun place for me to learn. They offer such great opportunities to learn. That's the best way you can showcase it, to show the behind the scenes. What goes on behind the scenes, and not something that you can show in account books.
Absolutely. So, this is what, because I used to, also not accept a lot of things. Like today, I might be the speaker of this topic, and because I've understood, the importance of social media, I would feel more than happy, to accept the topic from your end. But, back in days when there are my mentors and trainers, telling me that how social media is very important, and they, started YouTube channels, and, they told me that we are going to make this YouTube channel very, very big. This is going to make us revenue in the future. To be frank, I didn't believe. Because I was like, there are great people out there. There's Patrick Bet-David who puts some crazy videos. There is Warren Buffett. There's Grant Cardone. There's Gary Vaynerchuk. A lot of other people. And how are we going to beat all of them? But understand, everyone has their own market. Like everyone has their own, technique, or everyone has their own, that one point, which a lot of other people can relate to. Maybe, like I've seen this trend, because in the office where I was working, before me starting my business, there are a lot of North Indian crowd. Even though it's Hyderabad, though it's in South, though the language was Telugu, there's a lot of North Indian crowd. Reason is because, someone who's running a business was from North, so he could attract a lot of North Indians, and, a lot of South Indians. There are still a lot of South Indians who believed in them, but a lot of them also were skeptical, and doubtful, should I be joining them or not? And, when I started, my business in Hyderabad, I could attract a lot more Telugu people, the localites out here. So, you never know, how it's going to click. Like we see a lot of Indian influencers. Now someone talk about Sandeep Maheshwari, some of them might laugh. But let me tell you, he might inspire a lot of Indians, who can't speak English and who can just listen to his, keynotes or maybe, his videos in Hindi. Because it really doesn't make sense for me, with a lot of people. I understand that language is very, very important, but I still see a lot of people out there running big businesses, without even knowing the language. So you always have got audience. You just have to, give it a start, give it a try. And, going back into the recruitment, it's easy to choose from a big lot when you recruit from social media. Instead of, because I don't want to get 1,000 people to my office and then pick and choose from them. But when it comes to social media, I can get thousands of profiles, I can shortlist them, then, who all resumes I might have shortlisted, I can get them on a personal Zoom call, on a one-on-one basis, if I don't want them to get exposed to others. Because, certain times we discuss about the pay structures, like everything, and, different people, in the same roles, the pay structures might be different. And then I don't want to do that in front of everyone. And then, I have ease, where I can do it, sitting at my house or my office, with different people. I can pick and choose people from the different lots. And the next advantage is, when I do it on a telephonic call, I really don't know whether it's the same person who's speaking or not. Second thing, I don't really know, whether they have written a script or not. And some people do that, I do get it in a lot in, when I do recruitment, some people have preset pitch. And how many other times you ask the question, they're going to just rewind and, play it for you. And then they don't know anything other than that. And you can't see how their attire is, how professional they look at when they're coming for an interview. But right now with Zoom, it's very easy because I could see how they're dressed. I could accept and reject depending upon, because, if I know that it's an interview for me, even if I'm from the house, I'm going to be well dressed. I'm going to ensure that my grooming is, pretty good. So all of that, I can see, and, more than anything, I can see the body language of the person. I can see the tone of voice of the person, how confident are they speaking, the attitude of the guy, whenever I ask a tricky question, how they're taking it. Are they taking it on a positive way? Or are they getting, stressed out? So it has made lives easier. And the best part, like I was pointing out, is it's cost effective. Initially, I used to spend a lot of money, when people come to my office to, offer them, some items like, something to eat, or maybe a sandwich, maybe a burger. I used to get them a lot of coffee, pulpy orange, whatever it is. And then, every time when I'm doing recruitment, there's $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, of expense just to interview them, not even getting them into my company, but just to interview them as a, as a basic manners, because we can't keep people, just like that in the office. So right now, me and my partners, when we sit down and, we talk, we are just loving this whole new process, because it's zero cost for us. And then we only get the right people to the office and exposed to our people. That's one major thing that I have personally seen in recruitment. And my last point for this, before we getting into the Q&A is, training and development. And majorly, initially, when I used to train my workforce, it's me every day, getting to office, every day running different topics. And, some topic I've ran, 5 days back, and there's some new guy again who's coming to the office in the next week, I have to redo it. But now when I do a YouTube video, I just give him a link and ask him to watch it, and then you do a Q&A with me only for 5 minutes. I'm not going to spend 1 hour explaining things every time a new guy joins. I'm just going to give him a link, right? And because, the reason for that is, I always have an option whether to do it personally or to show him a video.
That
Right. So
also
whenever
brings on
I,
a very important point, whether that person is actually researching things to learn, to whether he is A, tech savvy, B, is he interested? Because if you share him, you share a link and he's gone and watched it, he'll definitely come back with questions. That's
yes.
an interesting way of actually knowing that the candidate is very interested, or he's just looking, he's just looking out for a job, or just another way of earning money.
And one more thing, a lot of people give up in the process of doing it, or some people, give up by them launching the first video and they seeing, a lot of people not liking it or maybe commenting or sharing it. But that's how everyone's journey is going to be. Initially, when you start something, you're not going to get those 10,000 likes or, 10,000 followers every day or 1 million, subscribers. And that's how it starts for everyone. If you see a lot of vloggers today, I do watch a lot of vloggers, lifestyle vlogs, automotive vlogs, business vlogs, real estate business vlogs, what Grant Cardone does. All of them say the same thing. Like, Grant Cardone, there's a post which I've always seen, he ran thousands of sessions, for free, going to different companies, of his friends, etc., in his network, and he has done absolutely for free. He has put up a lot of blogs, a lot of podcasts, a lot of training sessions, on YouTube, etc., which didn't make him any money. But, all that experience, of doing that eventually made him succeed because he's kept doing it. And, you got to, put a lot more content, and then that's when at the end of the day you're going to see that success. So a lot of people, implementation, you have to go for a long term. So again, this is something I've been learning in the last 3-4 years. Something what you believe in, you'll only succeed when you put a lot more work hours into that. Like right now I'm into sales, I'm not good at sales only by working for 1 year or something. 3 years, day in day out, every single day, the only reason we succeed is because we have failed more than the other person, and all those rejections, all those failures is what made us strong. And the kind of attitude, and I'm really really blessed, to be in sales, is because the way we could handle and tackle this whole crisis situation right now is because our attitude is super super strong. And I think that's what I wanted to say. And coming to training and development, again, it's cost effective, and the next thing, it saves a lot of time. Like I said, you can reuse the same data to different people so that you can focus on what is really required. So like the Q&A session that you do with the person, that's more important. So that's all I wanted to talk, Rohit. I hope it made sense. And let's go for some questions.
All right. So thank you so much. Thanks so much, Krishna, for your session.
Pleasure is mine.
Let's see if you have any questions. And people, if you guys have questions, please leave your questions in the comments, and Krishna is here to answer them. Okay. So we have a question from Shining Secrets. If you can see this.
Okay.
How
With team.
did you handle the post-corona situation with team?
Right. So always, you have to understand one major. You more confident at things. Right? There are certain things that we believe in. Sometimes there are certain things that we not believe. Like, to be frank, telemarketing is something which I never believed in. Because my business line is into something else. And then before me asking my team to get adapted to a telemarketing system, I had to try it myself. And then let me tell you, was it easy? No, not really. Was it, gave me good results in the initial stage? No, not really. Even after 3 years of experience in the marketing and sales, though, telemarketing being the first, a very, very new thing for me, as a first attempt, it was not really good. When I started doing those 15, 20 calls in the first time, there was no one who even listened out to me. There's a lot of people who rejected, cut the calls, might have shouted on me, said, I don't want to waste my time. Why are you calling me? How did you get my number? Etc. And figure out a way, a game plan for my people, and then, understand what customers need. And for the customer, to me, to give me a chance of pitching. So that's what we did for the initial first week. And then when we saw results coming, we started eventually believing in it. And then we passed on this opportunity to some of the, the core team members of our business. because they are the strong people. And, after us, after the leader, those are the people who generally are more confident about the business and, the process. And when they started doing it, they also faced a lot of difficulties. I wouldn't, deny that. But, they started acing it after a week. And that gave confidence to the lower level sales team, who also adapted to that. And now, did we see change in day one? No, not really. In the first week, we did terribly bad. We did like 2% of what our revenues were in the past month. And then, the next week, we could see some growth. And the next week, we could see a little more growth. And the next week, we could see a little more growth. Reason, we have constantly been feeding ourselves with, a lot of content of telemarketing, learning from market leaders, organizing calls, with international entrepreneurs, from Italy, from Cyprus, from Rome, thanks to all our the whole business network of ours from QASPL side. We have got a lot of speakers, and I think that helped us. And that gave us more confidence. So I think, it's personally first you have got to do it. And then, that builds up confidence on people that, this works. So I think, as a leader, you have to do it.
All right. So we had a question from MK Manish, who asked, how do you motivate your team? How are you motivating your people in telesales for telecalling? Sorry.
Right. See, like I said, motivation, is something which comes from our goals. Is because, there are different ways of achieving your goals, but, when your goals are really very important for you, in whatever kind of situation it is, you're going to come out of it. And what I try to say is I don't motivate them to do telesales, but I motivate them, by, making them understand what their goals are before the Corona time. And now how I take things, because, before Corona, I had so many plans of, doing this, starting a new branch in, my hometown, Visakhapatnam, where I've brought up. And then, right now, a lot of people, it took more time right now. It is going to take a little more time, 3 to 4 months more, but it's okay, because I'm still in a very positive situation because a lot of people had to shut down their businesses. A lot of people don't even have an opportunity to work, right?
So,
but
yeah. So like you said, your goals remain the same. The system might have changed, but your goals remain the same.
Absolutely.
And as long as you keep your eye on the goal, irrespective of what route you take it, you can always achieve it.
So what I do is I just keep the fire burning. I just add more fire into it. And then, and then people figure out ways. People just try to come out. Like if you see right now, even I'm sitting in the office, every day hustling day in, day out. There's Corona outside. My parents are panicking, my friends are panicking, everyone is panicking. But I'm not panicking because, I had to do my things. I have to hit my goals. If I don't hit my goals, eventually my people are not going to hit their goals, which is very, very important for me because that's going to, completely, take out the confidence from people. And I don't want to let that happen. Yeah, absolutely. It's like a ripple effect.
All right, so we have a question from I am Pratik, who says, what mistakes did you make in the initial stages of your journey?
Yes. What I made initially is number one, I thought, that something is preset for everyone. Like if you see, okay, if I'm born today, in my birth certificate, it's written that I'll be a doctor. Because I did civil engineering, I have to be a civil engineer. Because I'm into sales now, only sales is a one big thing for me. I don't have any other opportunity. So that's one major setback I had because, every time when I was jumping into a different thing, it bothered me a lot. That's one major thing. Second thing is, short selling. And short selling is a concept a lot of people don't understand is, every youngster falls for that MNC company who's paying you 20,000 rupees. But, I have seen, some of the great talents of our country, being struck in the rat race of IT. Back when I was working in TCS, a lot of people who are much talented than me, to be frank, I'm thankful, that they're not out in the real world right now. And I even feel very, very bad because if they're out, I couldn't, maybe, my business wouldn't be as successful as today. And the major reason is because, all of them short sell themselves. Because, they don't believe that they could run a business. They don't believe that they could do freelance and still make more money. They don't want, like I said, they don't want to adapt to the change. Because, a lot of, right now you see a lot, because with the crisis situation, a lot of senior associates in all of these companies have lost their jobs. Right? In my very same building, in this very same building, in Hyderabad, there's a guy who's lost his job, who's having 18 years of experience. He's starting an aquarium store downstairs. and a food joint. And then I asked him, why do you do it? And he's like, I've been trying to do a business, for the last 18 years, but I'm stuck in the rat race. Is because, I always try to tell people, rat race is nothing but, you starting a treadmill. It's like in your first year of your corporate life, you're a treadmill of 5 speed. And then the second year it goes to 10, because, you start, buying stuff that you always wanted. Like back in college, you might have wanted a laptop your dad didn't give you, or maybe he was not able to provide that for you. Right. And maybe you wanted a bike. They couldn't afford for it. So now when you start working, every youngster, the first thing is, we want to buy a watch, we want to buy a bike, we want to buy a laptop. And then the EMI starts rolling in. And then, the second year it's on 10, third year it's on 15. Now, on 10, when you start jumping out of the treadmill, what happens? You still can, stand on your foot and nothing happens. But what if it's 20? What if it's 25? What if it's 30? What if it's 40? You're going to break your face, break your bones, right? Straight, you're going to fall flat on the ground. And this is what, I have personally seen in a lot of other people, because they're short selling themselves. And, it becomes really, really tough for them to take a decision, after 6-7 years into the corporate, or even for that matter, after 4 years in a corporate, is because, it becomes tough for them to get out of that race and then, handle all those EMIs and the prior commitments that they have, which they've taken. So, I have got, when I was into sales initially, into field sales, I could impress, the major reason why I could start a business and I could get an investment is because, I'm good at sales. And now, because I'm good at sales, a lot of people outside, who are my prior customers, they gave me a lot of business opportunities. They offered me a lot of jobs for 50,000. When I was making only 40,000, they offered me 60,000. When I was making 40,000, they offered me 75,000. And, I have also got 25 lakhs a year offers. And, I understood this concept of not to short sell. And I think that really, really is very, very important for a lot of people out there. So you got to realize your potential. And that's what my tagline of my company says. Because, a lot of people are not realizing their true potential. And now the reason for that is not your mistake, is because of the society, our family, the kind of mentality and background we come from. Because, always people say, I'm sure a lot of your parents must have told, Dad, I want to do a business. Parents are like, this is not our thing. We have never done business. Always our family is into it. We want to secure ourselves. So if you see me 25 years, I've been taking the same cab, same bus, same, carriage which I'm carrying. I go on at 9 o'clock, I come back at 6 o'clock, and I want you to do this. This is secure. And that's when, and that's how they feed it into our mind. And I think, youngsters right now has to, start understanding, how to chase, their fears. And how they can understand, there are a lot of other freelancers, there are a lot of consultants out there right now who lost their jobs, are just working from co-working spaces. And, trying to, do a lot of things. So I feel, short selling is one major reason, why people generally do this.
All right. So there's a question from Tarun who says, how to improve your tonality, as it is one of the main things we consider while we are going on telemarketing sales. How do you improve your tonality?
See, it's not only tonality, I feel, is, for anything that you want to improve, you just got to do more practice. And like if you see, when I was initially into sales, the first thing, that I was not accepting is how can I smile while I speak? So my trainer was explaining, when you're talking to your prospect, when you're talking to your customer, you got to smile, because if you don't smile, the person is not going to be attracted towards you. And then I'm like, people think I'm mad if I'm smiling at everything. And then no, he's like, you got to do this, you got to do this. And, my body language was zero when I started. I used to stand like a robot in front of a person and, just deliver a pitch. And then it used to not work. And what I did, standing in front of a mirror, and, my trainer literally, got mirrors in the office, and, he had to put mirrors in the office, and I'm standing like a salon in front of, or a dance studio. And, I used to pitch myself 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. And the homework that he used to give me is, go back home. And if you're feeling bad, to do it outside in front of your friends and family, go into the washroom, stand in front of a mirror and do those pitch. And, there are a lot of days where on a Saturday night, my friends are partying, and then, I've gone into, a washroom and, do a lot of practice. And I think, it comes to you by observing majorly. And the second thing is practicing it. So, I used to write down the whole pitch on a paper, and then, I used to underline certain things in bold, saying this is where I have to stress. Right, like you see a small example.
What people could also do is, probably call up a friend and say, listen, man, listen to my pitch and give me your feedback as to how my voice was, how my, was I, articulate enough, was I clear enough? I think you can always do that,
And let me tell you, if you're crazy enough, you can call a random number and also do a pitch and say, in case if they're close, they say, sorry, sir, I'm just trying it out. How was my pitch? It's okay, cool. No one is going to mind. No one is going to put a police case on you. You got to be crazy to do different things. And that's how I was trained. That's how, I started learning different things. I think, more practice, more observation skills, and, watch a lot of shows, learn a lot. Like I learned a lot of things from this TV series called Suits, and I'm sure you would love it. The character of Mr. Harvey Specter and, everything.